This is the matchup that we have for you today. Two teams at the bottom of the standings trying to make their way up. CLS Knights Indonesia 2-7, Mono Vampire last year's finalist at 1-7. Something's got to give in this matchup as we bring you the action from Stadium 29 in Nonthaburi, Thailand. The 9th season of the ASEAN Basketball League, rise to greatness. And this is Noel Zarate alongside Jet Sulit. And from this picture alone, Jet, did you have any idea coming into the season that Mono Vampire would be down there?
No, absolutely no idea. And I don't think anyone could have thought this was going to happen to Mono. I mean, obviously things were going to change without Sam DeGuara in the lineup anymore. But a 1-7 record coming off of a final stint where they pushed San Miguel Alab Pilipinas to a sudden death, Game 5. It really has been a turbulent start to the season for the Mono Vampire Basketball Club. And ringing in a new year, Noel, 2019, both these teams, CLS and Mono, they were hoping that it would be the start of a good streak for them. Unfortunately, they're still looking for their first wins in the brand new year.
Well, of course, for the CLS Knights, they have had some personnel changes that we will talk about in just a few moments. Mono Vampire will be leading on their home crowd today to get win number 3. Let's meet the players participating in this matchup. As we await the player introduction, you can see their coach, Doug Marty, a lot on his mind for sure. And how about Maxi Esho with his new team, trying to get the taste of success that he had somewhat with the Saigon Heat.
Yeah.
You're right. And then you see here Brian Rousem, of course, in his coaching debut this season. Interesting mix for these two teams.
Absolutely. And well, for CLS Knights, Maxi Esho is the only import that has stayed there from the start of their season. In their previous game, CLS brought in, on your screens, Daryl Watkins to replace Monte Brandon. They also brought in Dog Herring in lieu of Stephen Hurt, and it's just a brand new mix. And the last time, the debuts of those two new imports, they weren't as successful as they had hoped to be. And right now, they have a big chance as they try to get a second win over Mono Vampire in this season.
Well, this is, of course, one of the best venues, if we may say, here in the ASEAN Basketball League. As we are going to meet the players now from both teams, we will see those girls in action also in just a few moments.
ระหว่างทีม CLS Knight จากอินโดนีเซียพบกับ Mono Vampire Basketball Club ค่ะ Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ABL ASEAN Basketball League 2018 to 2019. And this competition is CLS Knight from Indonesia versus Mono Vampire from Thailand. And now, let me introducing for CLS Knight Indonesia. First player number 1, Douglas Hurry. Number 3, Bendron Javato. Number 5, Bong Velong. Number 9, Sandy Kuniawan. Number 10, Ramar Fabri Utomo. Number 13, Barry Watkins. Number 15, John Panagan. Number 16, Ferrama Nugroho. Number 17, Katon Bascoro. Number 18, Maxia Aisho. Number 22, Eko Agu Bravovo. And number 24, Mo Saroni. Head coach Mr. Brian Rosen. และลำดับต่อไปเป็นการประกาศรายนาม Mono Vampire. And now introducing for Mono Vampire Basketball Club. First, number 1, Malcolm White. Number 77, Shishai Ananti. Number 38, Anand Puongla. Number 65, Tirawachan Tajar. Number 69, Darongpan Apirawilashai. Player number 5, Jason Brickman. Number 33, Naporn Sangton. Number 36, Sorot Sunton Siri. Number 20, Tawachai Suktam. Number 79, Jitapon Toweroy. Player number 22, Frederick Charles. And number 30, Shanashon Klahan. And coach Mr. Madi Clark.
All right, very energetic start to the player introductions, of course, by our lady stadium announcer here at the Stadium 29. Now, going back to these teams have actually met already once this season, and that was actually a win for the CLS Knights, and that was at home against the Mono Vampire, 80-75. So, of course, we're talking about two very different teams already. The players have already changed. There have been changes of imports for the CLS Knights. We do see that they brought in this gentleman, Doug Herring.
Absolutely. Well, in his very first game in the ABL, Doug Herring showed just what he can do. Although, if you take a look at his stints in his previous leagues that he's played in, Doug Herring isn't necessarily a scorer. You'll see his Instagram posts. He had a couple of triple-doubles just before coming into the ABL. But they were triple-doubles of the Jason kid kind, the 10-10-10s.
Right.
But here with CLS, he's gonna have to do more scoring if they want to turn this season around.
Well, I actually was talking to Brandon Jawato before the game. They say they need somebody like Doug Herring, who's a true point guard in every sense of the word, somebody who distributes all of their scores. Brandon Jawato was saying that everybody on the team can score. They just need somebody who is going to distribute to them. And maybe they found in this guy, Doug Herring.
And this is still, Noel, a product of the rule change in the ABL, because before, a lot of the point guards were locals or heritage imports. Now it's changed, and as you can see, Doug Herring, he dropped 16 points in their previous game, had 8 assists. However, that was not enough to overcome the Formosa Dreamers.
Yeah, that was an 82-72 loss against Formosa in their home court. And how about Freddie Leash? He hasn't been really unleashing some Freddie Leash-like numbers this season. Look at that, 4.3 a game. That's not him.
Yeah, remember that when you talk about the new look of Mono this season, one thing that pops out, stands out, people talk about is the departure of Sam Deguara. But many forget that there was another very important player in Paul Zamar who left this team. And that's kind of the void that Freddie Leash will need to fill in. Because Zamar was such an important part of that Mono run where they got to the finals, teaming up with Jason Brickman.
And about the previous game for Mono Vampire, they lost this one 101-82 in a game also that Mike Singletary was lost for the game. Mike Singletary will not be matching up here, will not be playing up here today. Malcolm White and Maxi Esho, of course, these two guys can cancel each other out. But, we're going to talk about Singletary a little later on. These are two very, very similar players, although Maxi Esho is more of an outside shooter.
I don't expect these two guys to go head-to-head, guard each other, but they will definitely be the engines that will drive their respective squads here. Malcolm White, a lot will be on his shoulders with, like you said, Singletary out of the game. And, Esho, that's the case every time he takes the floor for the CLS Knights.
And you can see there Brian Rouse, and we were having a little chat with him earlier on, and I think I mentioned this in the previous broadcast, that he was actually flown in by the great Michael Jordan himself to attend the 30th anniversary of the Charlotte Hornets just a few months ago. And I remember when he was brandishing all that Jordan outfits that he got. Douglas Herring, and Daryl Watkins starting out. Wong Wei Long, Brandon Jawato, and Maxi Esho. Now, this is the starting lineup that we envisioned. We haven't even talked about Wong Wei Long. The Long Ranger hasn't really been that effective yet this season.
Yeah, and that's why they felt the need to bring in a guy like Doug Herring, because as good as Wong Wei Long is as a player. Again, the rule change kind of put in a new dimension of how you field in your players. Now teams get the luxury of bringing in an import as a guard.
Well, you can see there, Sorot Suntan City's actually going to get the start in place of Mike Singletary here. We expected to see Freddie Leash in the starting lineup, but it will be Sorot Suntan City taking on the point guard or the two guard chores for Coach Doug Marty. Now, again, this is a big void. Not only are they missing the services of Mike Singletary, but we've also heard that there's, I believe, an injury now to one of their other players as well.
That's very, very important. You know, you don't have a Singletary, and you're also going to miss the services of Moses Morgan.
There you go, yeah.
You know, Moses Morgan was able to come home to Thailand and play as a local. Again, the rule change of the ABL. And he was a huge addition to this team, bringing in not only experience, he also brought in size and, of course, the skills that have kept him in the ABL for such a long time. And that's going to be something that they will miss today.
Now look at this, Malcolm White, he'll be matching up, he's about 6'9", matching up against a 7-footer, Daryl Watkins. Now Watkins has been out of circulation from competitive basketball shot for a couple of years already, so he needs to get his legs under him really quick if CLS wants to get their third victory.
It was very evident matching up against Will Artino in the Formosa Dreamers. He did not have that lateral speed, and that's why what Artino did was get the ball maybe 10-15 feet away from the basket and just put the ball on the floor, leave Watkins in his rear view mirror.
We were talking about Wong Wei Long. Another factor here for the CLS Knights would be the game and the energy brought in by Brandon Jawato as we have our first attempt of the game, and that one is good. CLS is on the board first, courtesy of Doug Herring.
It's going to be a great matchup between Herring and Brickman. You know, Noel, in the first match between these two teams, Mono, a large reason why I felt they lost. They needed some kick from Brickman. However, Brickman only took five attempts that game. Obviously, today he's going to have to take a lot more.
Well, you saw that pick and roll being run there between Tirawa Chantachon and Jason Brickman. That pass is broken up, but great defense at the rim. We're going to see this one again, Jat.
Great basketball players will tell you that a lot of things that happen on the floor starts with a pick and roll, but CLS was ready that time.
Here's Jawato lining up a three. That is a miss. Good boxing out that time by Tirawa Chantachon. He's going to be a star in this league very soon, if not in the Southeast Asian region as well. Oh, nice up and under that time. Coming from Sorot Suntan City.
That's the confidence that the player gets whenever he starts. Oh, but a push there underneath.
They're going to call this an unsportsmanlike, it appears, as Suntan City hits the deck. Probably the lightest player on the team. Interesting to have 2 point guards at the same time here for Coach Doug Marty. As we see this one, that was actually Herring on the scene there. So they're going to call this an unsportsmanlike foul on Doug Herring.
Now players have to be careful because we're coming off a game where Mike Singletary committed a flagrant foul, was tossed from the game, and was suspended for this match. And that's what you never want to see. You commit one error, maybe out of frustration, and then you get billed by missing. We're just a minute and 13 seconds into this match.
Yeah. So they got to be careful. Of course, we don't expect really tempers to flare if the teams actually mirror their coaches. These are two of the most soft-spoken coaches that we have here in the league. And Doug Marty on your screens and Brian Rousam on the other side. Doug Herring still having some words with our officials. And how about this? Mono Vampire getting all of their points from Sorot Suntan City. Good start for them as their locals try to contribute early.
I think that Mono has shown one of the greatest developments from look at that!
Amazing read coming off the inbound. Malcolm White with his first bucket of the game, and that wasn't even through a pick and roll. That was just a backdoor lob. Amazing from Jason Brickman. Here's Wong Wei Long trying to penetrate. Gets it inside, and again, Wong Wei Long finding an easy target there, and Daryl Watkins.
I like what I'm seeing from Watkins right now. The speed, it's a lot better than what he showed against Formosa.
White lines up 1 for 15, and how about that? 2 for 2 to begin the game. Coming off a 31 and 13.
Oh, White was really determined to bounce back after a subpar showing against Hong Kong. And the reason why he couldn't produce as much in his very first game in the ABL was he was hampered by hamstring cramps. it really got to him early. We were covering that game, Noel. Was it the second or the third quarter where it
very
came?
Early,
Definitely.
very early. And he left the game about 4 times in that one. He was telling me before this game, he was on a plane for 24 hours before he actually suited up against Hong Kong Eastern and had to ride another plane to get back. So he's probably acclimatized already by now. Maxi Esho, formerly of the Saigon Heat. Well, he needs to get his motor running here today. As you mentioned, Judd, he is the most consistent player on this squad.
Absolutely. And anytime you have a Maxi Esho on your team, or more often than not, he will be the centerpiece of your squad. He's that kind of a player. And it's a matter of filling in the spots around him, surrounding him with players that can contribute and that can really bring out the best in him. And that's the reason why the 2 imports were replaced and Maxi Esho remains with the CLS Knights.
A dangerous pass that time. Sauto Sunton saving it. Sunton 9 on the shot clock. Chantachon gets it out. Malcolm White on the catch and shoot. That's his first miss of the game. Battle for the rebound. It falls into the hands of Darumpana Pironvilay Chai, and a foul on the Knights.
You have to appreciate the intensity that these teams have brought into this arena. They understand the situation they're in. Out of the 10 teams you have, 9th and 8th currently, you of course do not want to miss that bus heading into the playoffs. It might be early, but if you don't get out of that hole right now, you're going to fall so deep that it's going to be hard to climb out.
And again, with the competitive teams, of course, especially coming from the eastern side of the horn here in the ASEAN Basketball League, you do have to make your moves right now as Darumpana Pironvilay Chai splits the free throws.
And it's not like these 2 teams are not good enough to compete, because remember, the 2 teams that they actually scored a win over very respectable teams. CLS getting 1 over Hong Kong Eastern, and the first loss of the Formosa Dreamers this season delivered by Mono Vampire.
That was a 15-point loss as Brandon Jawato lines up a long 3.
I was asking Jawato earlier if his game really is shooting from outside, and he says and he wants to be as versatile as he can be, so it's a matter of what the team needs from him.
How about a pick and pop this time? Jason Brickman finding Malcolm White. White's got 6 in the game. Sidestep for Maxi Esho. Everything but the basket. And how about Darumpana make that Tirawa Chantachon getting the rebound, but he was out of bounds.
That's unfortunate. You get a statistic. You get a 2-in-1 statistic. 1 rebound and 1 turnover.
That's right. You can see there Brandon Jawato getting that 3 earlier. Good defense inside by Tirawa Chantachon, and we're going the other way. 10-9 Mono Vampire, under 7 to play here in the first. And Jason Brickman, that was his first attempt. Went for naught, but they will keep the basketball.
Every season of the ABL and every FIBA competition that we see Chantachon, he showcases progress and development. And you're right, soon enough, he's going to be a star in the region.
Well, here is Chantachon right now. Maxi Esho's watching him. Pironvilay Chai, they set it up right now to Jason Brickman. Brickman's got 4 on the shot clock. Brickman lets it fly and gets it to go.
Brickman, he's got to be aggressive on the offensive end, and that's just what he's doing right now. Scoring and orchestrating as well.
Trying to look for the open guy once again. This time Jawato takes it hard to the rim. Jawato on the fall away, and nobody there to box out Watkins.
Watkins in his first game with the CLS Knights only scored 8 points, and he's got a couple of baskets already, good for 4 points. He should easily get past his total in his ABL debut.
Now how about this? A matchup between 2 veterans of the league. Brickman going up against Wong Wei Long, and looks like Wong Wei Long is going to be whistled for this one. 12-11 Mono Vampire here in the first. It's like a heavyweight boxing match. They're just exchanging jabs at this point, looking for weak points. As we see this lob once again. Some of the highlights so far as Brandon Jawato was able to knock down. That's the first triple of the game, actually, for either squad.
The easiest thought coming into this game, Noel, is that it's going to be Brickman and White carrying the load for Mono for the entire game. But the reason they have this slim lead at this point is because of the contributions of the locals. Sunton Siri with 3 points, and I know that's not a lot, but anytime you can ease the load off of the shoulders of your imports, it's a big contribution.
And again, there is no Mike Singletary, there is no Moses Morgan to help save the Mono Vampire in this one. So we have a little bit of a lull right now, and showing you some of the pretty faces that have graced our venue here. Stadium 29, Nonthaburi, Thailand. It looks like there's an issue with the clock that they're trying to fix right here. Jut. And you take a look at Freddie Leash. We were talking about him earlier. Will he be unleashed today?
That is a big question. And again, he's one of the guys capable of bringing in or contributing positively. I thought it's a good move from Coach Doug Marty to get him off the bench. This was a fantastic play earlier. Brickman, the all-time ABL assists leader.
Right.
He's going to enjoy definitely playing with Malcolm White. And here's another assist, another Brickman to White connection.
He's got 3 in the game so far. We're talking about Jason Brickman, 2 points to go with that as well. But we all know that they are missing the services of Singletary. They are missing the services of Morgan. So they need to look for the local support that you were mentioning earlier. You can see Apiron Vilaychay already talking to Chantachon on what they want to get done. Rico Boron, of course, the referee from the Philippines. Looks like everything is in order. The shot clock is at 20 with 6:20 remaining here in the first Mono basketball.
We did mention that the first meeting between the Knights and Mono Vampire, Brickman could only score 6 points on 5 attempts, but he did have 12 assists. Now, Brickman has the ability to get to 20 points and still get 10 assists, and that's the kind of game that Coach Doug Martin is hoping to get from his main point guard.
And that was an open look missed there by Malcolm White. Still a 1-point lead for Mono, 12-11, and this is an outside shot from Watkins that goes astray. And a rebound for Jason Brickman, leading the secondary break. Darumpan up on Vilaychay, gets it inside. Tiro at Chantachon.
That's the biggest development that I've seen from Chantachon. He's not afraid to take it to the heart of bigger defenders anymore.
And that ups the lead now to 3, 14-11. Esho thinking about it. And Herring just lets it fly. How about that? Doug Herring from deep.
Doug Herring, he does have that shooting. His shots actually refuse to fall in their game against Formosa, and right now he's catching his rhythm.
We are tied at 14 right now with 5:22 remaining in the first. There's that pick and roll action. This is before the shot, according to our official. Foul given up there by the CLS Knights. Now, how important is that pick and roll now with the absence of 2 key players for Mono Vampire?
Well, now the contrast, Noel, with Brickman working with White is an agile big man.
Yeah.
Unlike when he had Deguara, all Deguara could do was really try to get position underneath, and then Brickman would just attack and drop it off to him or feed him on the post. Now White also has that jumper, and it's a whole new weapon for Mono Vampire that Brickman can use.
Esho knew exactly where Brickman was going to go with that pass. Bats it out. 8 seconds to shoot now for Mono Vampire. Tied at 14 as we come up on 5 minutes to go here in the first. White, 5 to shoot. Almost has it taken away by Wong Wei Long. Brickman on the run. That's a deep 3. And Tiro at Chantachon with the offensive board. They'll do this again. Sultan City changing direction. Sidestepping move. And that is Sora Sultan City with 5 in the game.
You give him an opportunity and he will make the most of it. Sunton City now with 5 points, and that is going straight to our top plays of the week.
And the Sunton City met by his teammates as the CLS Knights call for time. Mono Vampire reclaiming the lead 16-14. Back with us here at Stadium 29 in Nonthaburi, Thailand. And Mono Vampire coming off a timeout called by CLS Knights after that brilliant move earlier by Sora City to give them back a 2-point lead, 16-14. Noel Zarate alongside Jut Sulit. Three-pointer in and out and in, coming from Maxi Esho.
Oh, these two teams are just exchanging buckets right now. And they're off to a good start. And like we mentioned earlier, Noel, the problem, or one of the problems that these two teams have had in the season is closing out games. It's a matter of who can maintain it.
Again, the pick and roll. You get sucked into it, it's going to be a problem. Malcolm White gets his second dunk of the game.
See, the problem with guarding Jason Brickman is you know that he can explode to the basket and get a buck and get a layup over you. That's why you overcommit, allowing Malcolm White to get open.
Malcolm White off to a good start, 8 points already. Wong Wei Long, a little bit of a problem handling the basketball. 7 to shoot now for the Knights. To go to a pick and pop this time. Watkins, extra pass. Wong Wei Long won't miss from that close.
Wong Wei Long, a two-time local MVP when he was still playing for the Singapore Slingers. A lot of experience under his belt.
And here comes Apiron Villay-Chai getting it out. Malcolm White starting to hum from the outside, not that time. And they picked up now by Herring. 3:34 to play. Another deep three this time, Maxi Esho. And this forces Doug Marty to call a timeout this time as the CLS Knights have taken a 19-18 lead with 3:32 remaining in the first. Stay with us for more exciting action from the ASEAN Basketball League.
Low, knock, and Malcolm, use Malcolm, dive, hit the ball. I think you can hit him directly. Hey, right now. Hey. Let's go.
Maxi Esho hitting back-to-back threes to give the CLS Knights a 1-point lead, 19-18. Once again, our ongoing coverage, make that 22-18. Our ongoing coverage of the ASEAN Basketball League takes us to Thailand. Field goal numbers from the outside, 4 of 6 for the Knights, still nothing for Mono Vampire.
That's something that the Knights can really capitalize on. And it's because of the absence of Singletary and Morgan. That's why Esho is able to get those looks and Brickman just could not answer. Because that forces Tirawat Chantachon to come out and meet Esho from outside. And he's just not that quick to match up with Esho when Esho decides to attack.
Well, Sang Tong is going to see his first action of the game and immediately gives up a foul on Maxi Esho. He tried to go for Maxi Esho as he faked for the ball, and Esho took it strong. So that's another thing with Maxi Esho. Looks like he got poked in the eye a bit as well. So 22-18, CLS Knights enjoying a 4-point lead. Again, this is a matchup of two teams that are struggling to get a victory. CLS Knights have not won on the road in 5 attempts, Jut. And of course, the Mono Vampire, this is actually a rare home game for them. Most of their games coming into this one were on the road.
Absolutely. And well, when they were on the road playing against the CLS Knights, when Indonesia won that first meeting with Mono, it was Maxi Esho who led the way with 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Oh, Chichai Ananti just creating for Sang Tong. Sang Tong gets it back, almost throws it away. Brickman gets it. Brickman gets it out to Chichai. 8 on the shot clock. Ananti with a floater. And that one is going to drop out. You appreciate the effort, but they still need those buckets. Jowato tries to slow it down. Watkins posting up inside. And the second effort still out there for Watkins. And the recovery still made by the CLS Knights. Jowato, second 3 of the game. And they will count this one.
Watkins was really lucky that his teammates were there to save the possession, because when you are about 7 feet, maybe 200 to close to 300 pounds,
yeah,
you should have your way against Chichai Ananti.
Yes. Well, this will be still Knights basketball, it appears, after the whistle was blown. You can see there, that's a great kick out. There was a whistle inside the paint. Two referees signaled the three-pointer to go. So I don't know what gives in this situation. Did they say the foul came before the shot? That's on Saintong. That's his second. Just hardly broken a sweat yet. He hasn't even been there for a minute. He's already picked up 2 fouls.
And under the new rules of FIBA, I'm not sure when exactly they changed it. It doesn't apply anymore that when a foul occurs away from the play and the shot is made, it's not a bonus free throw anymore, and that's why the 3 counts, but it's going to be CLS inbounding the ball on the sideline.
And the Knights have their biggest lead of the game, 26-18, 2.5 to play here in the first. Wong Wei Long on the attack. Wong Wei Long drops it inside, and Ananti gets involved with trying to stop Watkins. I mean, you got to give this kid a lot of props for bravery. Are they calling a held ball, or are they calling a traveling violation or a foul? Referees are still talking.
I thought that on his way to the basket, Wong Wei Long already fooled the defense of White, and he already got a good look.
So there's a foul whistled actually on that one, but they will overturn the call and say jump ball, possession arrow goes to the Mono Vampires. So Chichay Ananti gets credit for that one.
And from what we saw on that replay, I thought it was a good call.
Yeah.
That it was a jump ball.
But still an 8-point lead for the visiting CLS Knights against the home team Mono Vampires. Sang Tong going cross court now. Jason Brickman on the right side, 10 to shoot. Brickman on the penetration, tries to lob it over to Malcolm White. A lot of black shirts in the area. Wong Wei Long with a great pocket pass, but it's a miss coming from Herring.
And CLS, despite having this 8-point lead, they have missed easy baskets. A couple earlier from Watkins and this one from Herring.
White lines it up, looking for a foul. He might have a case here. And possession out of Brandon Joado. Wong Wei Long has been doing a lot of orchestrating as well. Wong Wei Long. And that one is going to drop in, so even the bounce is going the way of the visitors.
No, well, the CLS Knights are just averaging 80.9 points per game in the 9 games they've played. They are already closing in on 30 here in the first quarter.
And that one bounces out again. Jonathan Lahan in the game for the first time. 10-point lead for the Knights. There's the back down now. Coming from Herring, gets it out. Another 3 for Joado, not this time. Battle for the rebound. Watkins. And that is stepping on the end line on the 7-footer. Ball possession goes back to Mono.
Even if there have been a couple of errors and missed opportunities for Watkins, he's definitely looking much better than he did in his first game in the ABL. 2 years away from competitive play is no joke, but more than game shape, Noel, it's the game timing that you need to regain.
Freddie Leash in the game for the first time. And going back to Daryl Watkins, he actually came off knee surgery that prompted him to miss a couple of years of competitive basketball. So he's still on the mend technically. Entry pass batted away. Here's Ananti. Ananti on the penetration. Ananti, wild shot, nothing there. Battle for the rebound. And the Knights come away with it. Mascoro has it picked. And are they going to say foul on Ananti?
Almost had it there, but at the last second. Well, looks like it's an offensive foul.
Oh, wow.
And that's just a great stop. Oh, there it is. The push from Bascoro.
So Katon Bascoro is going to be called for the offensive foul. And you like the energy brought in by Chichay Ananti, although he hasn't really translated that to points yet. And they're still down by 10. But you want to take every positive that you can get heading into the second period.
Well, on top of Lish, it's also Ananti who really needs to step up in the absence of Singletary and Morgan, because first time they played against CLS, Ananti actually dropped 14 points on 4 of 8 3-point shooting.
That's right. Sang Tong, he has this in his arsenal, not that time. Sanachon Klahan coming away with it. Freddie Leash, unleashed.
Your Mono, that's an excellent sign. Your first 3-pointer in the game, and it comes from Freddie Lish.
1 out of 3 shooting as a team. Only 3 attempts from deep for a team that thrives on taking a lot of outside shots. Herring can't get it back. Leash gets it, and he will run out of time. And the first period comes to an end with the Knights hanging on to a 7-point lead, 28-21 against Mono Vampire. Second quarter, when we return, stay with us right here on the ASEAN Basketball League. Start of the second right now. Ball possession going to a Mono Vampire. They are down by 7, and that's taken away immediately by Maxi Esho leading the break. And Santi Cornyawan, seeing his first action of the game, gets the layup.
You know, Noel, the Mono Vampire have had incredible assists. That alley-oop earlier, a lot of pick and pops. And you would think that they're leading that category, but it's actually CLS who has 9 assists already in the game. It's just that they're not doing it in fascinating ways. It's just simple basketball, but that time Mono gets it done.
Well, Sang Tong getting the offensive rebound that time, and the shooting percentage actually for the CLS Knights, it's as if they're not the visiting team. They shot better in that first quarter, and not to say that Mono didn't play enough defense, but they just got their shots to go.
Well, Wong Wei Long misses that time, but he has 3 assists, making it easy for his teammates to score.
White with that unorthodox hook shot, he gets it back and sticks it back in. And it's nice to see him running up and down the floor. Remember the first time we covered him in Hong Kong, he made a basket and then limped off the floor 3 times.
Yeah, it was definitely a big reason why Hong Kong was able to get back in that game and steal the win.
Esho, good late challenge there by Sang Tong, who even gives him a little bit of a point after that. Sang Tong on offense this time. High off the glass, can't get it to go. And Bascaro now leading the break. Esho, 1 man to beat. That is White. Oh, Esho stays with it.
That is Maxi Esho for you. Relentless, and he doesn't mind missing as long as he gets that ball back and puts it back home.
And that lead is 7 points once again for the CLS Knights. Freddie Leash on the penetration, on the step back. That is short. And Chana Chonklahan at the right place at the right time gets the follow-up plus the foul.
One thing about Klahan is he will just do whatever it takes to help his team. It might not be scoring. It might not even be rebounding as it was that time, but he's just ready to do the dirty work every time.
And he's not that tall either. He's about a shade over 6 feet. Plays forward for this squad, and he is a veteran. As far back as I can remember here in the ASEAN Basketball League, every time Thailand has a team, Chana Chonklahan somehow finds a roster spot.
He's the kind of player that you need on your team.
Yes.
with the energy and hustle that he brings in.
Knights lead down to 4, 32-28. Under 8 minutes to play here in the second. Joato, no rest for him so far. As with Esho, as with Wong Wei Long. And the Long Ranger strikes again.
7 points for Wong to go along with 3 assists. He has just done marvelous things for CLS tonight.
35-28. Brickman trying to get it to somebody. They get it out again to Leash. Leash with a crossover, 10 to shoot. Leash in and out, tip in, not there. One more attempt here coming up. Chana Chonklahan with the old school hook shot. Doesn't go. Freddie Leash battling for it, but he will touch it last. Good effort, however, coming from Mono Vampire.
And there was Klahan with an expression of his frustration. He thought he had that hook shot on point already. Ooh, that possession could have gone either way.
Yeah. And our Korean referee actually making the call from the baseline to award the ball to the visitors from Indonesia. CLS Knights 35, Mono Vampire 28. Thank you for joining us once again as we rise to greatness on the 9th season of the ASEAN Basketball League as Wong Wei Long missing from the outside. Noel Zarate alongside Jatsulik. Great pass. And Malcolm White denies Maxi Esho. And he is saying that he did not have any contact. But White will be whistled for this foul.
That's going to be his second. And I don't know. That replay was a bit too quick. Well, it seemed as though there was contact on the arm. He did get a lot of ball, but you have to consider everything. The forearm of White hitting that of Esho, and that's why a foul was whistled.
Daryl Watkins is even telling Malcolm White right now, hey, you're right. You didn't foul him. Try to get into his head.
Sometimes you just have to give an opponent what he's asking for.
Yeah. Well, Maxi Esho and Malcolm White saying, ball don't lie. Missing on the first free throw. Making the second one, however, to restore an 8-point lead to the CLS Knights, 36-28. Coming up on 7 minutes to go here in the first half.
Well, sometimes when you play the great game against one particular team, the next time you meet them, you bring in a higher confidence.
Right.
That's what's happening to Esho, but it's also what's happening to the locals of Mono.
Right, Chana Junklahan wanted that missed hook shot back. Got it on the drive, his second field goal of the game. Here's Jawato taking it strong, trying to drop it inside to Watkins. And play is broken up, but they say Watkins touched it last.
I'm not sure if there's anything in particular that Coach Doug Marty told his locals or his team, but they are definitely out here playing and representing Thailand strongly.
They go horns once again. Here's Leash. Picked up by Jawato. Brickman right now. Shot clock at 7. Brickman stopped at the last possible moment by Brandon Jawato. That's how quick Jason Brickman can go straight to the hoop.
I like the double high screen motion of Mono, and it did get them a good look, but it was a 20-foot jumper, and Lish just opted not to take it. So he went deeper into the defense. He was shut down, and they had to reset their offense.
Well, the shot clock did not reset, though. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Jason Brickman inbounding from the baseline. Brickman gets it back. Brickman on the floater. Doesn't go that time, and Maxi Esho clears. Here comes Herring. Esho, one fluid motion, but he can't get the stroke.
CLS now missing from outside after making 6 of their first 12 attempts.
Leash, second 3 of the game.
The only 2 3-pointers of Mono Vampire in this game coming from Freddie Lish. He was asked to step up, and he heeded the call.
36-30, another timeout here by Brian Rousam. He's out of timeouts here in the first half. We got 5:57 remaining in the first. We'll be right back.
No way! The guy can penetrate down the middle like that. Nobody rotate over. There's no defense now.
play smarter. You on offense and then play zone, go fast and look high low inside.
But Brian Rossum not very happy with his team's performance, especially on defense. That was a very, very wide open look that Freddie Leash was able to get that second three-pointer to go. And he was really pounding on them on their defense. And they are not really supposed to be doing this, especially with that lead dwindling.
Well, it's the combo of Lish and Brickman that's working well right now for Mono. They are starting to find how to gel and play with each other the right way. And if that happens to improve the way those two guards tandem up, it's going to be easier for Malcolm White as well.
Very patient offense being shown by the Knights against the zone defense of Mono. A little too patient, though. They're still in the long court with 6 on the shot clock. Esho again.
It's just the shots that Mono is allowing CLS to take. Not a lot of pressure whenever they get a look from outside.
39-33. Knights so far keeping Mono at bay. High up for the layup. Jason Brickman missing that time. Brandon Joano tracks it down. And into the front court. Wong Wei Long. And Maxi Esho is just everywhere right now. They will call this one on Tirawa Chantachon. And that's what you want from Maxi Esho. He's just patrolling all over the rim and finally gets the opportunity to get free throws.
And that's the third time, Noel, that he's tried to dunk at home. And we're just halfway through the second quarter. He's on a mission here in Thailand, trying to get the CLS's third win in the 9th season of the ABL.
Esho's not been having a good day from the free throw line here so far, Judd. He split all of his trips from the line.
The last time that CLS played, that one against Formosa, we saw a very frustrated Maxi Esho at the end of that game. He actually tried to steal the basketball with Formosa just wasting away the time. Lee Shuilin, he tried to fool him, get that steal. And he walked out frustrated out of the court, didn't even shake the hands of Formosa. And right now he's trying to get his team back.
Oh, Freddie Leash getting through the defense. And Freddie Leash has 8 points in the game. He's doubled his average for the season so far. We're still in the first half. Esho, hang time move again. Somebody's got to help out Malcolm White down there.
Maxi Esho, he averages 22 points per game. He's already up to 17.
Brickman lost the handle that time. And here comes Wong Wei Long. 4.5 to play here in the first half. Herring, again, very patient offense being shown by the Knights. How about Watkins trying a three?
Oh, he hasn't had luck from about a feet or two away from the basket. So he tries from 23 feet and finds the bottom of the net.
It is 44-35. That lead is back up to 9 points for the CLS Knights. Another timeout here called by Mono Vampire. Back with us here inside Stadium 29 here in Thailand as the home team is being spanked so far by the visiting CLS Knights here in the first half. 44-35. Noel Zanate alongside Jat Sulit. And again, the field goal numbers so far in this game, Mono not doing very well.
Absolutely, and they shot the ball fairly decent in the first quarter, but their shot has departed them here in the second. As for the Knights, they're still finding their mark from beyond the arc. Even Darryl Watkins, their center, I think that's his first three-point attempt in his ABL career, and he knocked it down.
I would believe that's his first three-point make in about 2 years as well in competitive basketball. And coming off the timeout of Doug Marty, they turn it over.
Something you never want to see as a coach.
Wong Wei Long challenging Malcolm White. Not a good idea, but they will keep possession with under 4 minutes to go here in the first half.
I really think that Mono, they're doing the right things on offense. It's just that CLS understands what's missing on the offensive arsenal of Mono, and they are able to adjust their defense.
And this zone is continually being punished by the outside shooting of Maxi Esho. Doesn't get it that time. But again, playing zone, you're not really boxing out. So there are more opportunities for offensive rebounds. This time, Freddie Leash says, no offensive rebound for you guys. 8 points off the bench. Can he make it 10? Not this time. And Herring gets it. Herring jumps it over now to Wong. Wong gets it inside. Esho hesitating. Out to Jawato once again. Jawato on the sidestep. Wong Wei Long all day to shoot that one.
It's just the ball movement of CLS. They kick the ball out, they attack the basket, kick the ball out. It's a process, it repeats until there's an open look.
This is the largest lead of the game for the CLS Knights. 47-35 with under 3 minutes to go. Jawato open for three. Everything is falling for the Knights.
That is now 10 three-pointers knocked down by CLS in the first half alone. And we still have close to 3 minutes to play.
Brickman wanting to get everybody else involved. Three-pointers, an air ball coming from Sorot City. I'll try it again. Leash take it strong this time. Follow-up slam is good for Malcolm White.
That ought to be something that wakes up Mono Vampire. Even the fans in the stands, they haven't had anything to cheer for in a while before that, rather.
Uh-oh, Jawato just breaks free. Nobody helping out inside. Malcolm White can't do it alone. Tirawa Chantachon was left in the dust that time.
And that's why it's important to have a Singletary or a Morgan. Not really more than on offense. I think it's the defensive end that they're missing those two players.
Right. Nice head fake there by Brickman. Finds Sorot City. Floater on its way. No, good boxing out that time by Esho. Under 2 minutes to play in the second. Jawato feeling it. And the rebound picked up by Chantachon. Leash not going to wait for his teammates to come down. Oh, he will get it to go on the continuation. 3-point play opportunity for Freddie Leash. 10 points off the bench.
Look at that look on the face of Freddie Leash. He will not stop attacking this time, absorbing the bump from Wong Wei Long and having the upper body strength to finish.
Now Leash, can he make up for the departure of Paul Zamar from this team? Of course, those are pretty big shoes to fill, but he's showing signs that he can get it done if he's given enough minutes. He hasn't really played much this season, unlike when he was playing for teams like Westport's Malaysia Dragons, where he was really the main guy. 11 in the game.
I really think that even though Mono is struggling and are down by 12 points at this juncture of the game, they've shown a lot of growth in the first half, just with the locals stepping up, Freddie Leash included.
This lead is still 12, however, for the Knights. A minute and a half to go in the first half. Herring getting it over now to Wong. Wong gets a slight pick. Wong at the baseline. Pass a little too low that time for Herring. Herring trying to force it up. Great defense that time by Mono. Here's Brickman. And they leave it for Sang Tong, who gets the layup.
Good cut from Sang Tong, not eating up the space of the ball handler and filling the right lane to get that pass from Brickman and laying it in.
That lead is down to 10, and there's going to be another whistle. It looks like Apiron Vilay-Chay will be called for this one. Herring gets himself to the free throw line.
Oh, Herring gets the break this time, drawing the foul on Apiron Vilay-Chay. But one thing we've seen in the two games that Herring has played in the ABL, when he feels that he's not getting the calls that he should be getting, he kind of forces it a little bit. But hey, he gets rewarded here with 2 free throws.
And Apirong Vilaychay, a veteran of the league here since the onset. And he's one of the beloved figures in this country as well in terms of basketball, as Herring comes up empty. And you know, Mono should be down by at least 20 points right now if CLS had made most of these free throws.
Absolutely, Noel. They're shooting 4 for 9. And are leaving the door open for Mono Vampire.
That's 2 misses there from the guard, Doug Herring. 47 seconds to play in the first. Brickman sizing up the 3-2 zone. Moving around, Sang Tong thinking about it. Gets it out to Brickman. Oh, high-low does not materialize, and that's thrown away.
You see, CLS was ready. The moment that White positioned himself in the middle and Brickman was handling that basketball up top, CLS was already ready for that inside pass. There were 3 players surrounding Malcolm White.
That zone shifted from a 3-2 to a 2-3 in a hurry. Oh, Sherman made that look. Has it turned back, battle for the rebound. Oh, nice pass. Watkins can't get it to go.
How about the defense of White, not allowing anything easy there?
But how about the rebounding tenacity for Mono for the CLS Knights? And Watkins is going to get more free throws. Boy, Mono can't buy a rebound, but they're going to say Mono basketball.
It's a 3-second violation call. I believe that was whistled on the Knights with Watkins not leaving the paint when that ball was tapped out.
Chance to cut it to single figures heading into the break for Mono Vampire. 12 seconds to go. Brickman, Apirong Vilaychay gets it back. Jason Brickman for 3. That is a miss. 4 seconds to go. Brickman almost takes it away. 2.1 for the Knights to get the last say.
Now, Brickman has been taking his shots, but they just haven't been falling. Stuck with 2 points.
And with 2 seconds to go, what can Wong Wei Long do? Trigger it in. And this is going to be a wild heave. That shot will not count from Nugroho. So at the end of the first 20 minutes of action, the visiting CLS Knights Indonesia hanging on to a 10-point lead against Mono Vampire, 52-42. More action from the ASEAN Basketball League when we return.
เพราะว่าท่านจะได้ชมนะคะการแสดงโชว์ค่ะจากน้องๆ Mono Vampire Girls
At the half, it is 52-42. CLS Knights up by 10 against the home team, Mono Vampire. Noel Zarate still alongside Jat Sulit. Amazing shooting display for the visitors from Indonesia in that first half. But we all know things can change in the second half.
Well, it's largely because 3 players have taken over for CLS. Esho, Wong, and Jawato all have at least 10 points, 4 assists, and 2 made 3-pointers. Esho leads the way with 17, 5, and 5 rebounds and assists, and 3 made 3-pointers. And Wong is also facilitating well with 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists.
And of course, Brandon Jawato also caught fire a bit there in that first half. So all of the guns were coming out ablaze for the CLS Knights. Now the question is, can they sustain it? If you're just joining us, Mono Vampire playing without world import Mike Singletary, local Moses Morgan, and Wong Wei Long, I'll make that Jason Brickman, hasn't really shot the ball very well so far.
Yeah, we expected Brickman to really step his offensive game up in terms of scoring, because we all know he can pass the ball. He hasn't found his mark. 1 of 10 from the field, only good for 2 points on top of his 6 assists. Malcolm White has tried to carry them, but his 12 points and 6 rebounds haven't been enough to get them right where they want to be.
Well, it's not every day you can say that Sorot Suntunsiri is actually outscoring Jason Brickman in that guard position for Mono Vampire. 5 points for Sorot Suntunsiri and only 2 points so far for Jason Brickman. They have not run a single pick and roll in that second quarter. They went more to their high-low play, but when that 3-2 zone that shifted to a 2-3 came around for the CLS Knights, even that was the problem for Mono Vampire.
Well, CLS Knights, they clamped down the middle. They made sure that there were multiple players surrounding the paint whenever Mono was trying to go for that pick and roll. So Mono tried to change it up in the second quarter and go for the high-low play between Brickman and Malcolm White.
Yeah.
But the defense was still there, and it was so difficult for Mono to get good looks.
Well, start of the third right now. CLS with a 10-point lead and possession. High-low of their own right now coming from CLS Knights, and that time Watkins was bothered by White.
Something that White will need to take care of is his 2 personal fouls. And that's why you see Watkins trying to attack him immediately.
Sorot Suntunsiri taking it strong. He got the start today in the absence of Moses Morgan, and he will get back to the free throw line. And the 7-footer, Daryl Watkins, called for that foul.
Now, obviously, Noel, the 3-point shooting, 10 out of 20 in the first half really helped CLS establish the big advantage. But it was also their ball movement. They had a total of 16 assists in the first half alone. And in the season, they're averaging 18.3.
Yeah.
And so that's a big, big number helping them.
And you were making a point, of course, the absence of Mike Singletary as Suntunsiri missing 2 free throws affects them more in terms of their defense over their offense.
Absolutely, with Esho, I think it's Singletary and Morgan, because now they started the game with a combo of Malcolm White and Tirawat Chantachon. Both of those guys are used to being stuck in the middle and just having to go maybe at the most 3 steps away from the paint. That time, however, a foul called on Malcolm White, I believe. So that's
his third.
Foul number 3 on him, which is big.
Esho bringing down the ball. Here's Wong. Wong on the high lob. Oh, high layup missed there, but Watkins was there to clean it up.
Just going back a bit to the point of Mono missing Singletary and Morgan on the defensive end. It's particularly difficult because they're facing a team with 2 big guys in Daryl Watkins and Maxi Esho, and one of those in Esho, so versatile, has that outside shot and can put the ball on the floor. So there are multiple ways for CLS to capitalize on the absence of the defenders on the Mono side.
There's going to be a foul on Wong Wei Long. Malcolm White with a quick turnaround. That is a miss. And Esho gets the rebound. And he's bringing it up right now. Herring gets it over now to Esho. Esho escapes again.
He's just having so much success on the offensive end. Now for White on offense, I'm hoping to see a bit more of him bumping and carving out some space in the middle rather than settling for mid-range jumpers.
But that zone defense is not allowing anything inside for Mono. 8 on the shot clock right now. Brickman thinking about it. Brickman on the step back. Brickman is 1 of 11 so far.
It's just been a tough evening for him.
56-42 CLS. And Herring gets all the way to the cup, and nobody boxing out Watkins again.
Again, the locals, or well, the defenders of Mono, not quick enough to stay in front of their men. And that's why the last line of defense is being drawn out.
This is 6 unanswered now for the Knights. White still can't answer. Another rebound for Esho.
It's hard to argue that jumper from Malcolm White because that fell in the first quarter now.
Oh.
He commits his 4th personal foul. And I'm not sure what Doug Marty's going to do. It looks like he's going to pull Malcolm White out of the game. And it's a great chance for CLS to completely break this game open.
Or it could also work the other way. This is going to be a faster unit now for Mono. Let's see if the locals can step it up. 6 unanswered for the Knights. Probably more from Daryl Watkins, the 34-year-old. We are just underway here in the third, so this could get ugly really quick. And the one thing that the CLS had problems with in the first half is their free throw shooting. Looks like Daryl Watkins might put an end to that. 17-point lead for CLS on the crest of this 7-zip run.
You know, to your point, Noel, that Sangtong checking in for White could make for a faster Mono unit, but I'm just not sure they're faster or even fast enough to match up with CLS at this point.
Well, that time, Tirawa Chantachon was looking for the foul against Watkins. They still have 18 to shoot. However, this is the largest lead of the game. One positive they had, though, Mono Vampire, was Freddie Leash coming away with 11 points in that first half. Chantachon is in trouble. They get it outside. Three-pointer on its way. That is a miss. Here comes Herring. Oh, nice pass going to Maxi Esho. Timeout, Mono Vampire. The lead is now 19 for the CLS Knights. And Maxi Esho might have gotten away with an extra step that time. But it will still be a big lead for the visiting CLS Knights, looking for their first road win of the season. Can they get it done? We'll find out in just a bit. Back with us here inside Stadium 29 in Thailand. Maxi Esho 21, 7, and 5. And we still have 7 and 20 remaining here in the third. Noel Zarate alongside Jud Sulit. Bring you the action for the 9th season of the ASEAN Basketball League. Freddie Leash back in the game. Get it over now to Chanachon Klahan, who still can't answer from that timeout of Doug Marty. Brendan Jowato. And he was only stopped by a foul.
The Knights are really grooving right now. They're doing it on the defensive end. And there's just, it's quite a mess right now for Mono. As you see on that last play, Klahan bumping into Lish. And that kind of, that's something you never want to see when you're a coach or even a fan of a team. But it also triggered the transition attack for Jowato. Unfortunately for him, could not knock down the first free throw.
Brandon Jawato, his father is from Bali, his mother is from Los Angeles, went to school at the University of Hawaii, missing 2 free throws. And that still is a 19-point lead for CLS with under 7 minutes to go here in the third. A miss by Leash and trying to save it. And Jawato gets that off the leg of Jason Brickman. It goes back to CLS.
You know what? If you follow Brandon Jawato on Instagram, you'll see that the guy is full of energy. And pretty much what you see on the court from him, his energy, his hustle, that's the same way he attacks life. And I'm just thinking, Noel, if you hail from...
That was a little deep.
if your father is from Bali and you study in the University of Hawaii, it's a perfect match. Man of the beach.
I'll take your word for it, of course. The thing about Brandon Jawato is he's survived 3 knee operations already. And he's just trying to get back. Oh, the great crossover there, Freddie Leash. And great help defense provided by Maxi Esho, who has the ball right now. Lobs it up. Another slam dunk, this time for Doug Herring.
It's something that Doug Herring has been looking for, something to get his offensive game going, while a lot of his peers have been doing damage on the offensive end. He's been struggling quite a bit. Actually, the 5 on the floor of CLS, he's the only guy who hasn't reached double figures in scoring yet.
Well, Jason Brickman continues to struggle in this game. 1 of 12 from the field, 21-point lead for CLS. Esho in a jam, traveling violation is called.
Mahan locking him up that time, and he's just not giving up. And that's what we've seen from Chanachon Clan since we first saw him play in the ABL.
Yeah. Bundle of energy as well.
And he never backs down from anyone.
Right. And a veteran of the Thai national team as well. Look at the solo pressure being provided by Wong Wei Long. And into the front court now. Sang Tong gets it over now to Leash. Lahan puts it on the floor. Ball movement once again there for Mono Vampire, but again, Gordon on the defensive end. Oh, Jawato was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and Maxi Esho sort of laughs at where he was.
And even with a 21-point lead, the Knights arguing with each other on missed plays, and they're just so hungry to get as many W's as they can collect here in the 9th season of the ABL.
Well, they're looking for their first win in 2019. Freddie Leash can't get it to go. Leash stays with it. And into the front court, you have a new player in for Mono Vampire. Here's Brickman. Brickman tries to get it to somebody, and it goes to the wrong guy. And it's going to be an easy one again for the Knights. And this is starting to get ugly real quick.
Yet another assist for the CLS Knights. 21 assists for them.
And another turnover, almost. Brickman 10 to shoot. Brickman is 1 of 13 in the game. 3-pointer on its way. That is a miss by Tawaroj. Wong Wei Long can't get it to go.
And both teams right now pretty much just running through the motions, because I think the morale of Mono Vampire has been depleted.
That is the first basket of Mono Vampire in the second half, courtesy of their bench coming from Freddie Leash.
And that arrests a 13-0 start for the CLS Knights.
Jawato. Brandon Jawato, you're talking about energy. He thrives off of it.
You know, as a player, Noel, when you're on that court, you see who's in front of you and the defense around you. You know when you're better than them, or maybe you have a good chance of breaking down the defense. That's what Jawato sees with the men of Mono on the floor right now. No Malcolm Wyatt. And for the entirety of this game, as we've been mentioning, no Moses Morgan and no Mike Singletary. So he will attack because he knows he's stronger and perhaps a bit more athletic than all 5 players of Mono on the floor.
Well, he's going to take a breather right now. Santi Cornyawan's going to check in for him. 24-point lead for the CLS Knights. Klahan tries to go up and under, and it will stay with Mono.
Lots of credit to Brandon Jawado taking a seat on that bench, working with 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. All of those better than his season averages.
And those are impact baskets also that he got. Tuaroj. Leash on the crossover. Leash. He's the only man with a basket so far here in the second half for Mono. Oh, how about Maxi Esho turning the defense of Mono into pylons?
He saw that Malcolm White was there to defend, and he knew White wasn't about to risk his 5th foul.
And Malcolm White, token defense, at least token on the defensive end. They need his offense right now, but this is a 26-point advantage for a team that has now won on the road. Here's a turnover, though. Brickman getting it across. Tuaroj for 3. That is good.
It looks like that is what Tuaroj is in the game for. He's been shooting those threes, and, well, his teammates have been setting him up for them, too.
They had a player last year, Mono Vampire did, by the name of Radtech Kruatiwa, who's lost for the season because of an ACL injury. That was pretty much what he brought to the table. Baskoro can't get it to go. And here comes Brickman. If they can get this down somehow to around 12 points as Brickman gets his 2nd field goal of the game before the end of the 3rd, that could be manageable.
Oh, you've seen crazier finishes in basketball, Noel. And in the ABL, once you let your shoulders down and you relax a bit because you're already leading, that's when teams get back. But Maxi Esho says, we're not going to do that.
Maxi Esho can play 40 minutes at this speed. Another dunk for Maxi Esho. 23 in the game now. And another problem inside for Mono Vampires. A 3-on-1 going the other way. Lobs it up. Another slam dunk for Esho.
CLS Knights having a field day here. Everything going their way, including this alley-oop. Herring to Esho.
Another turnover and another layup this time by Baskoro.
We're just watching that lead grow and grow and grow.
Lead is now 27. Looks like Coach Doug Marty is going to bring in some of his reserves. We still have a minute and a half remaining in the 3rd. Another 3. Not that time. Malcolm White with an emphatic rebound. Denied by Watkins, but Watkins gives up the foul. And this must be frustrating for Malcolm White coming off a 31-13 performance. And exchanging words here with Maxi Esho. Now, we've covered this kid before, in the Philippines. And Malcolm White doesn't back down from anybody, but sometimes it gets the better of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, honestly, it's really difficult not to be frustrated when you're down by 27 points playing in front of a home crowd.
Yeah.
But, it's been a tough situation for White here. Yeah, like you mentioned, on top of this coverage, the only real help we expected to come, well, the emergence of Freddie Lish was obviously a great addition, but the only help we expected White to have truly was Jason Brickman, and Brickman is really struggling from the fields.
Was that 2 of 14, I believe, for Jason Brickman so far, as Malcolm White knocks down 2.
And even White hasn't had the kindest of evenings, nursing foul trouble for most of this game.
He has played with 4 fouls, but he cuts the lead down to 25. Tuaroj almost getting the steal, and he does force the turnover. So CLS had better stay at a high level, because Mono just might pick away at this lead. It is 25 right now. Chichai Ananti for 3. And here is White. Inside White. Will have to earn it from the line once again. Firman Nugroho will be called for the foul.
Yeah, there's no one there who can match up with White right now, and that's why he's trying his best to capitalize on the all-local unit of CLS on the floor right now.
We got a little too early to have an all-local unit. Only 14 points for Malcolm White today. That's his first miss from the line. Again, coming off a 31.13 rebound performance in the loss to Saigon.
When you're looking at the scoreboard and you're seeing a deficit as large as 25, when you're still in the third quarter, it's not just a mental toll on you. It's also physical. You get tired a bit quicker. And obviously, the focus is not quite there. But again, you're right. There's still enough time for Mono to get back in this game, especially with CLS committing errors like that.
Well, Brian Rossum is praying that nothing untoward happens in the final minute of this third, so he can bring back the starters to start the fourth. Lead is 24. To Aroj. Brickman looking for White. And that's going to be a hand check, it appears, on Nugroho again. Longtime member of the Indonesian national team.
I'm not sure if it was the armbar that Nugroho was called for. He was trying to deny White from getting the position that he wanted and may have done a bit too much.
So Malcolm White going back to the free throw line where he is 3 of 4 today. And I don't know if White's tiring out, but he has missed another free throw here. So Malcolm White with 47.4. Let's see what they have to work with getting into the fourth. That's 2 misses now from White. Torniawan gets it across. Again, they're looking for the best possible option. Nugroho not even asking for the ball in the post. Wong. Out of penetration. Gets it out. Jumper on its way. That is way off.
Here's a chance for Mono Vampire to close out the quarter strong, but it's a luxury also that Coach Brian Rausam is enjoying, giving his locals some confidence boost with extra minutes.
White gets in. So 12 seconds to go, 76-54. That's the 12 points scored by Mono here in the third. Good defense again for White, and they will lose it again. Brian Rossum looking 1.7. All right, we're almost done with this third.
Oh, he risked it, and he knew that he had enough cushion to use an all-local squad, give them a bit of some burn. Almost a Hail Mary from Chichaya Nanti.
76-54 at the end of 3 nights all over Mono. We'll have the fourth period when we return. Stay with us right here on the ASEAN Basketball League. fourth period is upon us, and this lead is 22 for the CLS Knights, 76-54. Noel Zarate still alongside Jut Sulit from Stadium 29. I was about to say Studio 29 because this place looks like a studio, and it is.
Absolutely, and I still believe it's one of the best venues or gymnasiums that we play at here in the ABL.
And Watkins with the tip in.
Watkins now working with 14 points and 14 rebounds. Really bouncing back from a rather subpar debut. Or not really subpar, but quite silent with 8 points and 6 rebounds in that loss to Formosa.
Again, getting his legs under him after 2 years of inactivity as Chichay Ananti gets to the free throw line. Another quiet day for Chichay Ananti.
That's the first point for the Thailand star, longtime member of their national team.
Still looks daunting though, 23 points, 22-point lead, but that's a lot of time. They have to start now though. Pressure in the backcourt being applied by Mono. And Herring asking for some help from Watkins. Herring on the delayed pick and roll to Watkins.
Almost the fifth foul committed by Malcolm White. He was lucky that the whistle wasn't blown.
Brickman on the attack. White sends it back home.
That's, it's sort of an assist as well with Brickman attacking, drawing the defense, missing that shot, and opening up that lane for an offensive rebound and the putback for White.
They just can't exchange baskets though. Jawato makes his move, gets it out. Wong Wei Long for three. And Wong Wei Long has struggled here in the second half. Tuaroj with a rebound. Oh, nice pocket pass once again. Malcolm White delivers. The lead is down to 20.
That's more of a Singletary move, coming from beyond the three-point line, diving, and Brickman just potting White.
Here's Esho. And CLS starting to miss some easy ones now. Tuaroj gets it off of Brandon Jawato. So 8:04 remaining. The lead is 20, highest at 27.
Ejitapon Tuaroj, introduced by Mono in the middle of this season. Providing some good help here, but they need more as this is a 20-point deficit they're facing.
Chichay gets a steal but missed the three.
Still no field goals for Chichay Ananti here.
Herring. Herring turns the corner. Herring keeps it himself and scores.
Maxi Esho has kind of shifted the spotlight to his teammates, allowing Dog Herring, Daryl Watkins, and the rest of CLS Knights to do the scoring at this point.
Watkins going to be called for a foul, or is it going to be on Wong Wei Long? It is on Gerald Watkins. This is the last play earlier. Herring, if he keeps this up, he could be an integral part of this squad.
And with that bucket, Noel, Herring becomes the 5th player of the CLS Knights to reach double figures here.
Wow.
Now with 11 points. Each of their starters have scored at least 10 points.
There's Tuaroj, that high looping three, not there. Up and Vilay Chai can't keep it alive. And Herring's going to bring it down. Coming up on 7 minutes to play here in the fourth. Jawato wants to add another three. So CLS not shooting very well here.
Well, Jawato has fallen in love with the three-point shot, but it's hard to blame him.
Darumpan up on Vilay Chai, and there's going to be a foul called. Could this be on Wong Wei Long?
Yeah, he was mixing it up with Chantachon. And well, when you're a smaller guy trying to box out the giant in Chantachon compared to Wong, he really had to do some extra work there.
So that ball's going to stay with Mono. Chinton City. Oh, nice pass inside. Follow-up is good for Malcolm White. Lead back down to 20. But they got to hurry.
White now with 23 points and 11 rebounds. He's one of only 2 Mono players in double figures, the other one being Freddie Lish with 13.
Oh, Esho just lost the handle that time. Here's White into the front court. White, oh, great find. Darumpan up in Vilaychay. And this lead is down to 18 from a high of 27. Timeout, Brian Rosum, with 6.5 to play in the fourth. Knights 82, Mono 64. Lead is down to 18 from a high of 27, 82 to 64. Malcolm White already with a double-double, 23 and 11. They still have time, but they got to string things together. And for the CLS Knights, they have been very quiet here in the fourth.
Absolutely. Well, they kind of toned down their energy. And that's why Mono getting stops like this and turning it into golden opportunities.
It's down to 16. With Darumpan Apirong Vilaychay getting his second field goal of the game, coming off the steal. The veteran, who has a twin brother. He used to wear jersey number 6, but since his twin brother doesn't play basketball anymore, he decided to get his brother's number and attach it to his. That's why he's wearing jersey number 69. A not so common jersey number. Brickman on the pick and roll. And there's Tirawa Chantachuan.
And look at that, a bit of some positivity on the side of Mono, going back to that pick and roll that worked perfectly in that first quarter.
That lead is down to 14 with still 6 minutes and change to go. Wong Wei Long, Jawato on the drive, yes.
Finally putting a stop to the rampage that was brewing up on the side of Mono. But CLS, their energy dropped for a bit, and Mono smelled that, capitalized on it.
White has it in favorable position. White, follow-up, still not there. White tries again. And no, according to our crew chief. So no attempt. They're going to take this out on the side. But you can sense, Jut, that the momentum has definitely shifted to the home team here in the fourth.
Absolutely. The question now, Noel, is will they be able to put up enough with the time remaining? Just 5.5 minutes to play in this game. And Malcolm White at the free throw line, he's not had the highest of successes from that part of the floor.
And you're going to lament all of these misses if you're Mono. I mean, 5 of them now coming from Malcolm White. I'll make that 4 of them, 3 of 7 from the free throw line. 2 bricks. They still have time though, 5.5 to go. Herring gets it across just in the nick of time. Jawato again. Gets it out. Esho has been quiet. Esho is not quiet anymore.
29 points for Maxi Esho. 11 rebounds and 6 assists to boot. Whenever the Mono Vampire are knocking on the door of CLS, it's Esho opens it a little bit to say, nope, you cannot enter.
18-point lead for CLS. And despite being down by 18 points, crowd still loving it here at the stadium. You know, for those of you who have not been to Stadium 29, it is a party atmosphere inside and outside the stadium. There's a full setup outside. Lots of good food here too.
That's right. Well, Mono Vampire, they play here at home every other game because their next game will be in Singapore. Then they come home here on January 16th to play Westport's Malaysia Dragons. Then away again to play San Miguel Alab Pilipinas before coming here on the 23rd to play the Saigon Heat.
And of course, for the CLS Knights, they will have one. This is their last away game. They're going to have 5 straight at home after this.
Should be a good one. And that's why they're trying to build that rhythm here already, Noel. Bring it back home and maybe get the boost from the crowd as well and really up their record with that home stand.
And again, for CLS, they are looking for their first road victory of the season. And they look to be 5 minutes away from getting that done. Jawato, series of moves in the post, sent back by Malcolm White. Brickman on the move. Brickman's pass broken up by Maxi Esho. We're going the other way. Esho on a 3-on-2. Esho with the left hand.
After that block from White, if Mono converted with any shot on their side of the floor, I felt like that could have built something for the squad. But a counter stop by CLS leading to that transition attack from Esho. And now their lead is back up to 20 points.
And Doug Marty calls for another ceasefire. 88-68. It is all CLS Knights.
If you don't have it, Malcolm chase back to the pick and roll. Short roll, chase it back. So go out. If you don't get it, and then we're just ball. Let's go. 4 minutes, 41 seconds. Let's go. Let's go.
4 minutes and 41 seconds remaining and the fourth. CLS Knights looking to be on the road to victory on the road for the first time this season. 88-68 is their lead over the home team. Mono Vampire Thailand, Noel Zarate alongside Jut Sulit. And Jason Brickman, Tarumpana Piron Vilay Chai for 3. So it looks like the CLS Knights have weathered the storm, Jut.
Yeah, it's a bit too late for Mono now to muster up something, but it might take close to a miracle for them to get back, especially with Maxi Esho apparently showing that he's not done yet. 34 big points for him already.
Malcolm White with another dunk.
White has been the lone bright spot for Mono Vampire in this game. 25 points, 14 rebounds, and as we showed earlier, 4 blocks.
Well, you know, speaking of bright spots, they have to be thankful that Mike Singletary's suspension is only for 1 game. He'll be back in the next one. Now, the fate of Moses Morgan, that's a different story.
Trying to get word. We've been trying to get word on what's the case with Moses Morgan. Trying to get clarification on the aforementioned injury that he's suffering from.
Yeah. But there's also been word going around, you know, ABL's circles that certain local might be in the pipeline to suit up for Mono. And that could be a game changer if, in fact, the rumors are true that a certain Tyler Lamb might suit up for Mono as a local, which he can.
That would be pretty interesting, and maybe that's the reason why Tyler was at the game of Mono versus Hong Kong Eastern, his former team.
I'm putting color into that.
I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. Just maybe, you know, like we said during that coverage, we don't know if he's still based in Hong Kong and if he was there supporting his former team or Mono because he's local Thai.
Toroj with his second three-pointer of the game. Lead is 21 though for the CLS Knights with only 3:39 to play. Now going back to Tyler Lamb, actually when you and I caught up with him, he was talking to Doug Marty. So interesting. If those rumors could be true, how big of a game changer could a guy like Tyler Lamb be for a team like Mono Vampire with Mike Singletary, Malcolm White this time?
Oh, without a doubt, Tyler Lamb was one of the most talented heritage imports we had in the league last season. Arguably, personally, I felt that heritage MVP, it was a neck-to-neck battle between him and Mike McKinney, and McKinney just towing his team a bit further, got him that award, but Tyler Lamb makes it for a great argument for that award too. And regardless of whether of where he plays, Tyler will definitely be a big addition to any team.
That's true. Another turnover here against Mono. Approaching 3 minutes to go. Esho, could have been a traveling violation, but they're going to call a foul, I believe, on Tuaroj, who was saying exactly what we were talking about. Could have been a traveling violation.
I also felt, Noel, that obviously Singletary and Morgan out at the same time is a huge hit for Mono, as you see that three knocked down by Tuaroj earlier. But if even just one of those guys were available today,
yes, it could have been a different story. You're right.
Absolutely. It could have been a very, very close battle because, like we've been saying, it's more of the defensive matchups where CLS really had the advantage with the absence of those two Mono players.
Well, both teams now starting to empty their benches, giving the locals some opportunity to get some burn. Brian Rousem talking to Coco Nugroho, the former coach of the CLS Knights last season, who has stayed on as the assistant. While Maxi Esho, just another day in the office, 36 in the game?
Yep. And a lot of other statistics to pad that stat line.
Well, he is a keeper. That's exactly what CLS has done. And there's another assist now going the way of Maxi Esho on that dunk.
And two more assists, Noel, and he would finish this game with a triple-double.
Well, that's not too far from happening right now with the extended garbage time that we are witnessing right now. Tuaroj again!
Tuaroj has definitely made his mark in his very first ABL game. Now with 9 points, all coming from three-pointers.
Hey, that could be the Paul Zamar understudy that we were talking about earlier. We're going to have an air ball. Ball goes back to Mono. 100-77. CLS Knights averaging just a bit over 80 points a game. Had a 28-point first quarter. And now they are cruising to their first road victory of the season. And how about 5 straight homestands coming up in that very wild Gorkartajaya gym over there at Surabaya.
And the craziest statistic for me in this game, we're going to say it even if there's still 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining, as Santong knocks down his three-pointer. On top of the 11 threes that CLS has hit in this game, Noel, 31 assists.
Wow.
When they average only about 18 per game, which is already a very respectable number. To almost double that in this match is amazing. Could be another
That's
one.
Another
and yes,
assist.
it is.
And Maxi Esho, 39 points in the game. Brings the lead back up to 23. And away from the ball, there's going to be an unsportsmanlike called on one of the Knights. Malcolm White. Is it going to be on White?
No, it looks like that's Prabowo. He's going to get called for that, I believe. A flailing of the forearm is what the referee is motioning. That's why it was called an unsportsmanlike.
And I believe Malcolm White's day is done as well. Doug Marty pulls him out. And you can feel for Malcolm White, wanting to do so much with his new team. This is his third game, all in losses now for Malcolm White.
So it looks like it was a double foul, apparently, that was whistled between
Bravo
and Malcolm White. That's why White fouled out of the game.
Okay. So Malcolm White is disqualified on fouls. Herring is also going to take a seat. 103 to 80. 138 to go. This is going to feel good for the Knights, especially in that long trip going back to Surabaya to get ready for their next homestand.
Well, you know, Noel, from what we talked about before this game started, we got something right, that Malcolm White and Maxi Esho were going to be the engines of their respective squads. But one thing we weren't able to predict is that Jason Brickman would be struggling from the field, and White having to do most of the production for Mono alone. Of course, Freddie Lish in that first and second quarters, he helped a lot. But for most of it, White had to carry the load, and he just didn't have enough. You know, it's tough to carry one squad against the deep and collective effort of CLS Knights.
They're piling up the assists as well. They had Santi Cornyawan hitting one earlier as well. So 28 points, that is the advantage here of CLS. That's a heat check there coming from Tuaroj. So Malcolm White knows that he's going to have help coming back with Mike Singletary available for the next game. Will Moses Morgan be there as well? That's the question.
Yeah, a lot of question marks right now for Mono, but it's going to be good for them to get Mike Singletary back in their next match. And if you're a fan of the Vampire, you just hope that this good game from Freddie Lish could be a springboard for more steady production as the season progresses, and hopefully Brickman can bounce back as well from his struggles here. Because, you know, Mono has the pieces. It's a matter of them clicking at the same time and trusting that system that brought them to the finals last year.
But again, they're saying that Sam DeGuara was there, Paul Zamar was there. There's a ball hogging violation called on the Knights. So they're going to have to forget about the fact that DeGuara and Zamar are no longer with the team, and probably develop Lish into a legit two guard. He's still a combo guard.
Noel, right now the CLS Knights have 34 assists.
Yeah.
The ABL record for a team is 35, which was set by the Westports Malaysia Dragons before. Well, one more possession, and with 19 seconds left on the shot clock. Oh, that's penalty situation already, so that might keep CLS's total at
Westports
34.
might still hold that.
Nonetheless, you know, that doesn't take anything away from what was an incredible display of team basketball put up by the Knights here inside Mono 29.
We have Agong at the free throw line. Now, still looking for his first points of the game. However, Agong gets it back once again. One assist. Let's see if they can get it. Just to tie the record of the Westports Malaysia Dragons.
Would have been an assist, but they'll settle for the second chance points.
The lead is 30. Can Lish still change the score? Yes, he can. And that's going to do it. 110-82 will be the final in this one. CLS Knights winning by 28 points on the home floor of the former finalists Mono Vampire, their first road win of the season, and they are going back to Surabaya, waiting to host 5 games over there.
Yep, and the stage was set for them to take over with the absence of Mike Singletary due to a suspension and Moses Morgan due to that injury. And well, it's Maxi Esho and the CLS Knights making the most of circumstances, getting this big win on the road.
And look at the imports. They all converge to lead their teams in different departments. Malcolm White with a double-double, 25 and 14. And that's going to do it for us here at Stadium 29 in Thailand. Thank you for joining us in our coverage of the 9th season of the ASEAN Basketball League, where we rise to greatness. For Jut Sulit, my name is Noel Zarate. We'll see you next time. This has been your ASEAN Basketball League.